Hi, and welcome back to Rick's Room. Now, this is the podcast I created to simulate the end of a busy conference. You know, you've been there. You're working all day long. Your feet are killing you. You've been on the floor and you've been to the sessions. And now you finally get back to the lobby or the lounge and you can sit down in a comfortable chair. And then you see someone you've wanted to talk to all day coming across the room. Now, today, that person is an old friend of mine that I've known, well, longer than either one of us will admit publicly because it'll age us. But she was pitching me stories when I was a reporter in New York for National Movies News many years ago. Then we ended up working together for some time, and then she went to a different industry altogether. She's one of the best professional communicators I know. Welcome, Charlyne McWilliams. Charlyne, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Rick. That's so kind. I love that introduction.
It's great to catch up with you. Has it been over a year? I think it's been over a year since we've spoken.
Yes.
That's embarrassing.
Maybe almost 2.
That's embarrassing. I shouldn't let that happen. And there's so much I want to talk about because I know so much stuff's happening in your life. But catch me up. What's going on in your life where you are right now?
Well, right now, I'm really focused on being the mom of all moms because it's what I call June-cember when you're running through all the things. And it's especially interesting this year because my daughter is being promoted. They call it being promoted. She's going from 5th grade to middle school. So they have a promotion.
Nice.
And so we're going through the concerts and she's doing the rehearsals for the ceremony. And there are all these other things that are going on. So I'm focusing a lot on that. And the fact that I'm the PTA president last year, hallelujah. That's been there was a retirement party this week and there's picnics. And so having my hands in so many pots has meant that I'm extremely busy with that. But work-wise, I've been helping folks with their communications and their branding efforts, not only in the mortgage industry, but I've got one of my new friends, actually not a new friend, but a friend that I actually have had for years, much like you and I. You know how you cross paths in one thing and you come back, like you mentioned. I first crossed your path when I was a reporter, or when you were a reporter,
right?
And I was in PR. Well, I first crossed this person's path when she was a trainer, a personal trainer, my personal trainer, and now she's doing things with an organization called Friends of the Congo. And I know that everyone knows that there's been a lot of news about the Ebola outbreak in the Congo. So I was helping them with some branding this morning. So the fact that I have the skill means that it can transfer to many different areas, many different industries, and I get to help people who I care about. So that's, in a nutshell, what I've been doing.
And that is a lot. I know my readers know. If you are getting into your kids' life, and I envy you so much because my kids are grown now, that's a lot. That's a lot. And my wife was PTA president, so I know what you do. I wasn't smart enough to do that. But so that takes all this time, but you're also running your own communication shop.
Yes.
2 things that would steamroll any normal human. So well done. You and I know how important communications is because we're in that business.
Yes.
Do other people realize it? And what do you wish they understood about the importance of communications in their life?
I think that's a very good question, Rick, because I think that people take for granted the ability to communicate, and they just see it as a one area myopically. They see I'm talking, so I'm communicating. They're not, and that's it. Yeah. They're not paying attention to what they're saying. They're not paying attention to the audience that they're saying it to, and they're not looking strategically down the line as to what they want to accomplish with what they're saying. And all of that makes up good communications. And I appreciate you saying that I'm a good communicator because I intentionally look at those things when I'm communicating with people. I want to see what they want to accomplish and even what I want to accomplish in the conversation. So it's vitally important that people remember not to take for granted the opportunity to communicate clearly, making sure that you're not only speaking well, that's basic, but you're getting the message out that you really want to get out to the audience you want to get it out to. So taking in consideration all those parts of communicating, I think is key. It's vital. And it's more than just at this moment. It's in longevity. of the communications of what you're saying so that you can make sure that you're doing it clearly and you're reaching your goal. I think that's the most important thing about communicating. And if you can't communicate well, reach out to somebody who can help you. I mean, there's
Exactly.
nothing
Exactly.
wrong with that.
Well, Charlyne, that's why I say you're one of my favorite professional communicators, because when I was working as a journalist, we were under heavy deadline pressure, a little different than it is today. I mean, we were constantly trying to find stories and write them. And I needed somebody to communicate with me and say, Rick, here's the story. Here's the sources. Here's the stuff. Here's what you need to know. Made it easy for me to do my job. That was great. I love you. Are you still doing that kind of work today, or how has it changed?
Yeah, I'm still doing it. And I think what my superpower is the fact that I was a journalist. So I understand what's going to catch the attention of the audiences that my clients want to reach. And I help pull that out of them so that we're effectively telling a story that's getting the information to the audiences, as well as providing a service, because people need what they're saying or what they're, I don't want to say selling, but people need to know what they're saying. So it works both ways. I'm able to provide journalists what they need for their readers, and I'm able to provide my clients an audience so that they can get that message out.
I love that, Charlyne. You reminded me that you were a reporter even before I knew you.
Yes.
So we've both been in that seat.
Right.
When you look at, and I'm not going to be complaining about modern journalists. I know they do their job. I know they work hard, but so much of the news we see is so difficult for people. Do you have an opinion on what's going on in the media today and how people should try to manage that in their own lives?
Right. That's a good question too, Rick, because there's so many avenues where you can get information. You can get it quick and dirty on social media, and then sometimes you don't always know if that information is correct or has it been vetted. But I think journalists are so busy right now. There have been so many things put on them. A lot of the shops that I worked at are gone, or you're wearing 85 hats. You're covering building, real estate, business, and you're doing all these things. And it's so important to make sure that you're getting the message right. I think one of the things that sometimes journalists right now, unfortunately, are having an issue with, they're trying to serve the master of getting the readers or getting the viewers without paying attention to making sure they're being authentic about the story that they're telling. So it's important for people who are helping them with that to drill down to what's the most important thing here that the audience needs to know. And you're not necessarily selling them. You're just making sure that the information is correct and that it is giving the audience what they need to make quality decisions or to just know what's going on in the world.
Yeah, no, I like that very much. And it raises a question in my mind for the reader. The reader, the consumer of this information is constantly overloaded with all this. Many of the reporters are working toward the algorithms. They are being judged by how many eyes they can get on a page. And a lot of times violence and unrest and hatred, it draws the eye so much better. Now, I know your background. How do you advise people to deal with that and manage that information overload?
Yeah, it's so interesting. When I was a journalist, you're right. Salaciousness gets the readers, and it gets the numbers. But when in our lives, in our day-to-day lives, I think it's so important to focus on what's good and what is positive and what really brings us joy. When we're, like you said, we are constantly bombarded with the news. But if you're able to just, sift through all of that and say, okay, what good thing can I focus on to help me get through the day, to help me be a better person? And I think if that catches on, I know it sounds like kumbaya. I know. But if more of us catch on to focusing on what's good in our lives and we are able to project that, we treat ourselves better, we treat other people better, and that catches on. And that community-based feeling can roll through a country, roll through a city, roll through, just go on out through counties, states. And I think that we'll end up being better people and treating each other better. And in a nutshell, we'll have a better world. I like I said, I know that sounds like kumbaya, but I really authentically feel that. I really feel that, and I practice that myself because I'm not, I'm not dumb, and I'm not just not being unaware of the negative things that are happening. Yes, we're aware of them, but you don't focus on them, and you don't let those things just lead how you, or we don't let those things push us into areas that are not going to be positive in the long run. I think it's
Yeah.
important for us to focus on the good.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. Now, if you liked hearing that, you have got to go back and find Charlyne's old podcast. What was it called? You Better Listen?
You better hear me.
You Better Hear Me.
You better hear me.
Oh, my
yes.
God. It was packed. And I promised myself I was not going to put pressure on you to revive that podcast, even though I dearly loved it.
Right.
But that's what I know about you, Char. I knew you'd have a great answer to that question. Now, right now, what's the passion project? What are you working on next?
And it's funny that you should mention the podcast, Rick, because Rick, you're the one that got me started in the podcast. You and Fabi Nagli, you guys, God bless you. He gave me music. You actually went through the first podcast with me. You helped me edit it. You did all kinds of wonderful things. And so you're a great person, and I love you for it to this day. And so when I accept my Academy Award, I will thank you. I'd like to thank you, Grant. But I want to get back into podcasting and doing more with my voice because it's a gift. And I feel like if you've been given a gift and you don't use it or you're not able to use it, you need to find a way to use it. So I'm really making an effort to do more voice acting and do more voice, like reading books for folks or doing their courses. So I'm working on that. So that's my passion project right now. And
I am so happy to hear that. Go ahead.
Yes. I was facilitating an event yesterday, and kids, you never know if you're gonna hit or miss with kids these days. You just don't know. So these young ladies who are teenagers came up to me after the event and said, "Can we say something?" And you never know what they're gonna say. So you brace yourself. Yeah, you can say something. And they said, "You have the most wonderful voice.
Yeah.
You should do books on tape, or you should you read audiobooks." That's what they said. "You should read audiobooks. It would just be so wonderful, and you would be making millions." So from their mouths to God's ear.
Wisdom from the mouth of babes. Well, the timing is perfect, Charlyne, because right now, AI is going crazy, and there's a million ways to get an AI voice online. But I have never heard one that I can't tell is a computer within the first 2 words.
Right.
It's horrible. And it turns me off of the entire rest of the whatever it is. But yeah, getting you to do some of that work, that would be key.
That would be key.
The thing. That would be the thing. All right. We're bumping up on time already. Can you believe it? So I know things are changing fast in your life. So I hope you will promise to come back and visit with me again. We've been visiting with Charlyne McWilliams. She's one of the best communicators I know. She's doing all kinds of things. You're going to find out more in the show notes. You should find her. You should follow her. And if you need her help, you should contact her. Charlyne, thanks for being with me today.
Thank you, Rick, for having me. I appreciate you.
All right. We'll see you soon.